Hello, I'm Simon Garfield, the author of In Miniature, and I'm here at Bekonscot Model Village with Tim Dunn, who is an expert on the place. It was the obvious choice, when I was doing my book, I thought, okay, so I have a little bit of an intro, and then where do we really start? We start at Bekonscot, because that was, that's where my first experience of any model village, and probably any miniature, involved miniature experience. The great thing about this is you are involved with it. It's not just a case of having a bit of Lego in your room, but you are walking around and you're pointing things out, and the things that I always love, the terrible, you're probably responsible for some of these
I wouldn't like to
puns. We walked by Watersmith bookshop.
Watersmith bookshop is a new
right,
one. I've just
okay.
gone past Traders of the Lost Art, which is the local paint shop.
Grocer Chris P. Lettuce.
They've got the fishmonger, which is I.C. Bones.
Okay, and my favourite, the butcher, the pairing of the butcher, salmonella. You've got to say it fast, and that's sort of where it gets worse. Those are the highlights.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the sort of. So we can see here. All sorts of stuff. It's sort of the 1930s, but it's roughly the 1930s, and it's sort of how I suppose we'd like our own world to be, really. Populated by nice people, there's stuff going on all the time. It always looks like it's happening all at once.
Yes.
So
it's a moment in time. It's absolutely frozen in time, but a fake moment in time, right?
Yeah.
This is an England that never really existed, never really will, and it's a kind of it's imagined. It's a series of little cameos of stuff going on in a kind of famous five kind of way.
But it appeals to me because A, there's so much happening all the time. B, you get an idea of where everything is in relation to each other. That's what I always love about sort of miniature things. You feel that there's the scale gives you an insight. That's what I was trying to say in my book, throughout the book, really, that it gives you, by looking from something from on high, you see it like as nothing before. So if you're standing at a church door, real church, you can't possibly get an idea of what it's like at the back at the same time and where it lies in the landscape. Here, obviously, you can, and that works beautifully. But also that you kind of think, I'd like to live in a place a bit like this, especially these days. Not quite like it. No, there's an element that sort of thinks it's a bit too clean, too nice. It's a bit too nice. But then you look closer and you see maybe at the pub there is a bit of an argument going on, and the police are chasing someone across the field. So it's not. The other thing I find interesting here is that this is an inspiration for so many other model villages that came afterwards and model worlds. So I went when I was researching the book. I went to Miniature Wonderland in Hamburg, where my dad was born, and that's the biggest model railway in the world. It's 10 miles of track. Obviously it's not in line; it goes all over, and that obviously is. They are building the whole world. They thought, okay, we'll do Germany, and then we thought, hang on a minute, people are going to get bored of the railway. So then they went, then they went to America, then they went elsewhere. They haven't built the UK yet.
But that's what happens to these miniaturists. They start on something and they can never stop. It becomes this crazy obsession.
Yeah.
I speak as one. You start on this. Bekonscot started out as a couple of Swiss cottages around the side of a lake. It got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Open to the public, and somewhat 90 years later or thereabouts, we're looking at 7 miniature towns, a staff of about 15 full-time people, and raising money for charities.
I know you have a theory that a lot of modelling in general and model villages are sort of born out of frustration, wanting to make the world right. And I would think coming here, there's a slight undercurrent of there's something going on. There is a lot of twitching behind the net curtains, I think.
There always are. You see Midsummer Murders. This is Midsummer territory.
Yeah.
We're on Midsummer territory here. In fact, an episode was filmed here, Midsummer Murders, and just up the road here, in the model village, there is actually a white dead person's body marked out where the murder was actually had.
I saw that.
And they killed the person in the Gulliver style in a model village story.
It's the only way to go, in my opinion, I think.